How you doing, everyone? It's that time of year again. Predictions time. My first predictions, actually. I'll start with a big thank you. Thanks for watching. Thanks for coming along. The channel's really started to grow now. I've only been doing this a month, and it's nice to see people are liking the content, but I want to get better. That's the whole point. When you start something new, you want to get better and better, don't you? But if you could do me a solid, once you've watched what you want to watch today, either like or dislike, and leave a comment. Subscribe too, and hit the bell for notifications. That way, we can reach out to you next time we get a video live, and it'll show up in your feed there, won't it? Nice and easy. Thanks for that. I've just got done finishing listening to Daniel Farke's press conference ahead of the Portsmouth game at the weekend. He was pretty jovial. The whole team is fit and raring to go. Few little excuses coming out, but I'm not going to banter on that today. We'll leave that for another video. With that said, let's start upsetting some football fans with my random predictions, which some people out there will take as gospel, and you shouldn't. Even though the video is titled, "This ain't a prediction, it's a spoiler." In actual fact, I think some of this is a spoiler. As a Leeds fan, we need to be a little inevitable this season. We should be. And if we're not, we're in trouble. So, let's get cracking. I'm not going to do the full 24 teams. And I know you guys don't have time in your life for that, neither do I. We only care about the top 6 around here, don't we, guys? So we're going to start there and work our way up. Another disclaimer, I'm not using betting odds. I'm not interested in what the betting companies think. Just look at last season and Ipswich. No. This is based on what teams did last season, how they've built their squad, what they've gained, retained, and lost. May I also add that I'm recording this on the 8th of August. We've still got a bit of the window to go. So this is based on the squads as they are now. I'll re-review this video at the end of the window. So let's begin with the team that are just sneaking in.
Hang in there, number 6.
And I predict Middlesbrough to be hanging on towards the end of the season, but I think they'll make it. I think they'll make top 6 this season. Michael Carrick has settled into the role. He's been backed, and considering he's ex-Scum, I think he's a solid manager. He's one of the more likeable ex-Man United players, if there is such a thing. The team seems settled as well. There's not been an awful lot of churn, certainly none that were particularly effective. They've kept key players. Rav Vandenberg, Dale Fry, Luke Ayling in the defence, Hayden Hackney, Isaiah Jones, the exciting Finn Azaz, new signing Aidan Morris from the USA, and the experienced Johnny Howson in the midfield, possibly his last season, and swan song. And then of course Latelath up front, who finished the season strong. They've also gone out and got Bergzog, Delano Bergzog, I don't know if you remember him, played for Huddersfield. Wasn't a bad player. We'll see what Michael Carrick does with him. They play a 4-2-3-1, but have been trialling a 3-4-3 at points last season, and they looked good with it. So I think they'll sneak in. Number 6 goes to Middlesbrough.
Punch up number 5. Let me see what you have.
Yes, sir.
This is the first of my surprises. I think a lot of you guys would not have Burnley in at number 5, finishing next season. But I do, for a couple of good reasons. Firstly, the manager. Yes, he's had a good track record of getting teams into the Premier League. The 2 best teams at the time in Bournemouth and Fulham. He's now taking over a side that will be under a huge amount of pressure to do something this season, even with parachute payments. Their wage bill must be rather large. Looking at their squad, it's incredibly deep. So they have that going for them. They've got strength in depth. But that can also be a counterpunch. Players expecting to play. I'm even struggling pulling together their predicted side. It's all over the place. Sanderberg is still there, but there's rumours linking him to Manchester United and other clubs. Will they hold on to Manuel Benson? They've got a relatively settled defence. Lucas Perez is the only new replacement coming into left back. It'll be interesting. I just get a sense around the pressure on Burnley to get up this season, and I think they might just falter.
Number 4. When you die, all the people you love will be there.
Will they have their own mansions?
Yeah, of course. Everyone gets a mansion.
What if I want them to live in my mansion?
Well, that's fine. They'd leave their mansion. They'll come and live with you, won't they?
What happens to their mansion?
I don't know. It goes back on the market. Can we...
Of the teams that were relegated last season, the one I really felt for was Luton. Luton Town worked incredibly hard last season. In a lot of games, taking the lead. Really forward-thinking way of playing football. But just got pipped. Couldn't keep up that pace and got snatched at. But they gave it a proper go, which can't be said for Sheffield United or Burnley really. Burnley were like rabbits in the headlights, and Sheffield United just phoned it in by Christmas. So they find themselves in the Championship. My question is, with players like Ross Barkley gone, have they done enough to replace? They've brought in a guy called Baptiste from Brentford, but that's about it. Apart from a youth player Rule Walters, 19-year-old lad. That's all they've really done. I think their squad is enough to be in and around it. I just don't think at this stage it's enough to challenge for the top 2. So I've got them in 4.
Pick number 3, my lord.
Oh, okay. Number 3.
Just missing out. That spot goes to Sheffield United. Sorry, couldn't resist. Now I, like most Leeds fans listening to this, don't particularly like Sheffield United. Another good reason why I don't like them is Chris Wilder. Just look at his face. But, with that said, we have to recognise the business they've done this summer. They've done some very good business. As of now, they retained Gus Hamer. They've brought in Harrison Burrows at left back, a player we should have signed. They got him for a few £1 million. Alfie Gilchrist, rumoured to come and join us down the right-hand side. Callum O'Hare on a free, again rumoured for us. Kiefer Moore up top, which as we saw from Ipswich was a very clever signing. And Harry Suter at the back, who's a solid option. They also have depth. They've got a number of players in there that can take these spots up. So I think they're going to give it a real push. I've noticed a lot of people predicting that they're going to be 7th, 8th, 9th. I think that's crazy. I think Sheffield United are definitely going to be in and around it. I have them to finish 3rd.
Number 2. I find this all very fascinating. Who was it that finally caught you?
No prizes for guessing who beat number 2 team, but I think you'll all be surprised with who I've chosen. I believe it's Coventry City's time for automatic promotion. Now you might think I'm crazy, but you all saw that game against Manchester United. Well, you may have done, I certainly did. They were very, very impressive. Now, I know you'd like to think most teams can get themselves up for a final Leeds United playoff, but the confidence you gain as a player when you experience something like that, I think has to be taken into the following season. Mark Robins is a solid manager. He's been at this for a while, and I think it's his time. The team is incredibly solid. I think they'll go a 3-4-3 this season. They've retained Binks. He's joined the side. Michael van Eervik, I think, is the best right back in the league, and he can play a vital attacking role. Ben Sheaf, Eccles, Bidwell, Sims, Hadji Wright, still there. They've bought a young lad called Rodriguez, an Australian player. I think he'll play on the wing. I think it's a solid side. And I believe Mark Robins will take this side up this season automatically. I think they're going to be the surprise package that Ipswich were last season.
1.
Surprise, surprise, it's the Mighty Whites. Of course it is. And I'd like to think that most other teams, if they were truthful and honest, would agree with this. Whatever your bias, I genuinely think if I wasn't a Leeds fan, I would be confident they were going to be promoted as champions this season. Now, we sit here the 8th of August. As it stands, we have the best starting 11 team in the league. Hands down. We don't have the best depth of squad. So if there is going to be a banana skin, it's that. If we don't strengthen this squad before the end of the window in positions like left back, right back, midfield, and we lose players like Rutter, Ampadu, Rodon, Firpo, I mean the guy's a walking red card, we lose those players, whether it be injury or suspension, we're in trouble. We lose points like we did last season in key games, it's going to be tough for us. There's going to be teams snapping at our heels this season, all season. Sheffield United, Luton Town, Burnley, Middlesbrough, Coventry City, these teams are going to be at us. So we have to make sure we get an extra couple of players over the line. As it stands, we haven't actually still put a bid in for Jonathan Rowe, but it's believed we're still talking. There's a young lad in Germany that we're talking to, a midfielder, potentially on a loan. We get these guys over the line, get ourselves a left back, and it's a foregone conclusion, guys. Sorry, but it is. Leeds United are going to be promoted as champions. I feel good after that. I can get it out of my head now. There you go. That's it. It's done. Positions confirmed. On to Portsmouth with a full strength squad. Quick prediction for you guys. 4-0 win. Thank you very much. With that, like, subscribe, leave a comment. I'd love to know what your top 6 is. Are Leeds going to do it? Are Sheffield United going to lose out? We'll see, won't we? Love you.